guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to recap 90 Day Fiance season 6 episode 5, I believe. This episode was kind of like meh, so it shouldn't take me long to kind of get through all the stories. So let's jump into it. First let's start off with Ashley and Jay. So Jay is feeling pretty uncomfortable living in, was it Mechanicsburg? He realized that there was a lot of white people and not much, if any, black people, which kind of makes him feel uneasy. He reads about the stuff that is happening in the news in the States, and he's kind of getting worried. He can't grasp, I guess, the concept of these people, like white people hating on black people type of thing, because he's come from a country that has only had his race, so he's felt very comfortable. But like, at least he's giving it a chance and trying to adjust. That whole scene of them going to that kind of farmers market thing, that was like a waste of time. When he went to the barber shop, which, since when does Jay have his license that he can just drive a car and stuff? When I saw him jump in the car, and like in Jamaica, they drive on the opposite side of the road. So I was just like, oh, so he just got his license in between sometime. So I'm not too sure if I bought that. You do see him get into the car, but you don't actually see him driving. So he arrives at the barber shop and he gets to meet these people. I don't know if I highly doubt these people were at Ashley's get-together. So he meet these people, and like, I think he's just talking shit and stuff. I think when he was saying, I don't know, TLC made it look like he was saying like, I only married Ashley to get to America type of thing. But like, I understood what he meant. Like, he wished that he could like fully date her, but date her and live with her full time in America, not being forced to marry her, because he is young, but like, he does love her and does care for her. I wasn't appreciating all the barbers talk of you're giving up your best life and blah blah blah. Like, those people are probably lonely too. But only lonely people say stuff like that. If you're in love, fall in love, do what people in love do, okay? Don't feel like, oh, if I love you then, and I'm young, I'm gonna waste my time and stuff. And about the flesh is weak and crap like that. You love who you love, and if you love her and you really want to make it work and you're in it for the long haul, like, this will all work out. I didn't appreciate like their garbage and stuff, so I was just like, I'm done with them. So that's kind of all with their story. So let's jump into the next couple. Okay, we're gonna talk about Colty and Larissa. So, Colt, this is the episode when Colt decides that he's going to formally propose to Larissa with a ring. And I have to say, that ring was gorgeous. Like, it was beautiful. It looked like it cost a lot of money. Larissa keeps complaining about no AC in the car, and I don't blame her, because even though I live in Canada and it's not hot all year round, you need heat. You need AC for when it gets super hot here, and you need heat when it gets super cold here. You can't kind of live without any of those. So I can imagine, from what I hear about like Las Vegas, that it's very very hot, but it's that desert heat. You're gonna need AC. So I don't think it's unreasonable for Larissa to ask Colt that maybe we should invest in a new car. So they go to the car dealership, and they're looking at cars. So Larissa is the first person to say, I want a big luxury car and stuff. They showed him some like big truck thing, like it looked a little bit too extra. I think it was more like a smaller SUV, but they showed like a big truck with that has three rows and stuff like that. It was a little bit too extra. But they showed him the car. Larissa was in love with it, talking about the car matched her hair, like, if that matters. And then so he asked, like, how much does the car cost? And he's like, it's $23,000. And like, $23,000 is a good price for like an SUV truck car. But the problem is, like, that is very expensive, and Colt doesn't have that kind of money. So I wasn't surprised when he was just like, no, we're not getting this. So then Larissa says, okay, what's your budget? And he says 10 grand. The man shows him a car that's worth 9,000 something. And the car looked fine. I hate cars that are shaped like boxes. I would have preferred a sedan. But whatever. That car was fine. Does it have AC? Check. Does it have automatic windows? Check. You're good. It has everything you need now. And Larissa wasn't feeling the car, and she's like, no, I don't like this. I want a luxurious car. And guess what, Larissa? You go home with no car. You continue to drive that, what was that, hoopty, the car that looks banged up with no AC. Like, I feel like she has problems compromising. It's kind of like my way or the highway, and it's a turnoff. But Cole talks to Debbie about the whole bank account situation. And he was just like, Mom, like, when we get married, instead of being like, you'll be your own person and we'll be a couple, he's like, we will all three be on the bank account together. We'll all pull in our money together. It'll be amazing. Like, Cole's like, what are you thinking? Sorry about that, my battery just died. So like I was saying, Colt was crazy, and like, there's no way that you guys are all gonna three share a bank account. But when Larissa gets a job, okay. So Colt decides to take Larissa on some kind of skyscraper, destination, place, restaurant, whatever. And Larissa's not fond of it because she's scared of heights. And she seems kind of deathly scared, that like to the point that she didn't want to drink or do anything. But Colt kind of eased her into getting used to how high they were up and the beautiful scenic view. And then Colt got down on one knee and said, will you marry me? Larissa was like in awe of the ring, how it looked, how beautiful it was, the diamonds on it. Like, it did look beautiful, I have to say. And she was quick to say yes, 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 yes. I don't like TLC's sneak peeks or previews where it makes, like, they make something look one way but come across another. But Larissa was all like, yes, yes, yes. So, I think that's what made her happy at that time. And she's gonna go right back to, like, Colty, like, why can't we just spend a lot of money on stuff? I don't know if, like, Colt should have, like, a real in-depth conversation about the value of American dollar and, like, how much money he makes and how much things cost, so it gets put in perspective, because she lives in La La Land. So, I'm done with her. Next, we're gonna talk about Jonathan and Fernanda. Once again, there's really not much with their story. Was the second episode where I was kind of like, meh? It's the aftermath of the whole, like, kind of touched the girl, but you were trying to push away the girl, argument. They talk it out. Both people are right and both people are wrong. So it's kind of like it gets squashed, it gets canceled out. They make up, they go to the gym. We have this whole like segment of them at the gym, which I do not care about. They look like they work out. That's all I needed to. I already knew that in my head. I didn't really need to see it. And then, I'm excited to see the next episode when Jonathan actually takes Fernanda to see his mom. This mom he's talked about that he was close with, but then he had a falling out. His mom thinks he's in a midlife crisis. Fernanda's too young, and like this is something that he might regret in the future. So I'll kind of skip their story, and that's kind of it. So let's go into the next couple. So let's do Kehlani and Asuelo. So this is when they decide to take the trip down to Utah to live with Kehlani's brother Nick. So so they're in a car, and baby Oliver starts crying, and I I don't know, because like the camera is there, but you don't see what happens. But his crying does sound like her crying. But sometimes babies cry and like over exaggerate the cry. You would think that someone killed was trying to murder them the way they cry. But I can understand why Kalani was like alarmed of like he sounds like something happened to him the way he's crying. Asuelu is trying to help him, but like he's kind of useless because he's kind of like a oh baby don't cry, don't cry, don't cry type of thing, which didn't help the situation. So Asuelu got kind of frustrated and decided to take Oliver out of the car seat, which kind of made Kalani go batshit crazy because it is true you're not supposed to take a baby out of the car seat, especially while the car is in motion. And I think both people are right and both people are wrong in the situation. And I'll explain. So let's start with Kalani. I think she was right to get mad because, like, when a mother is trying to protect her child and stuff, like, they go off. They turn crazy. They turn very protective mama bear type of thing. And she was just so, like, I guess shocked at what Asuelu did that she kind of went off on him. Which I would say the bad part is sometimes she has to like kind of go in the back of her mind. I understand why she couldn't do it in this situation, but go in the back of her mind and think like Asuelu like genuinely doesn't know this. This is not like oh he knows and he like disregards the rules of the road. Like I feel like he really did not know that he wasn't able to do that, and like he was just kind of in panic mode to do anything he could to calm the baby down. So I don't think like she should have been doing that, but I understand why she couldn't at that time think about, oh, what are Asuelu's feelings and how does he feel about that? And for Asuelu, the good thing is that he was trying to do all he could to keep the baby from crying. But I think frustration made him do something reckless like that. He could have asked for, okay, what should I do? What should I give him? Or what sounds does he need to hear? There should have been some more communication with Kalani instead of just being like, oh my god, I'm frustrated, the baby's gonna make my head explode. I'm gonna take it out of the car seat and try to rock it. So they get mad, they spend the night at a hotel, they don't even make it down to the house. And then it's the next day and they're going to the house. So Asuelu hasn't met Nick, which is Kalani's brother, and he lives there. So they meet, and the first thing that Nick does is give Asuelu a condom. It was supposed to be like I guess a practical joke, but like I felt it was really like that was tasteless. That was just kind of like I don't care how jokey you are, like that type of thing. And it was like I wouldn't find it a joke. I just find it like, what's wrong with you? Like that's weird. And Asuelu thought the same thing. He doesn't understand the concept of you must protect yourself if you do not want a child, whether you're a slut or you're in a relationship, and that condoms are good and stuff. Not using condoms lead to pregnancy, lead to baby Oliver, and you don't want baby Oliver to have a brother or sister right now, so condoms are good. That just kind of goes to show you kind of Asuelu's mindset and Kalani's mindset, and how they got into the situation in the first place, where there was no type of protection whatsoever. So they got she got pregnant, so it's kind of cut and dry. And it was like kind of funny hearing his thoughts on condoms and what it means in his culture, but I did think it was something he shouldn't have brought up from the beginning, because it was just weird to be like, hey, make sure you put a condom on. You kind of don't know this person yet, so for you to kind of say that type of stuff, it was kind of weird. So I think that's all with them. So I believe my next couple is Eric and Lita. So Eric and Lita are going to give me a headache. Um, so Eric is gone to work, and Lita decides to show her family the house. And I know Eric said, I want to be there for when you show your family, but like, do you, like, she kind of saved you. If I'm, if I'm Eric, I'm gonna be grateful that you went there with your family by yourselves versus me being there and you guys are talking shit about me, talking shit about my place and blah blah while I'm there. So she brings her whole family, and Eric, Eric, you couldn't clean up the house, you couldn't straighten up some stuff, even the stuff that was on the stove, you couldn't put in the sink. Like, Lita stayed the night with her parents, but where were you? I highly doubt you were up in the house too. You could have straightened it up. You could have made it look better. And that goes to show that he lives, that's how he lives. Like, please don't get it twisted and think that his house is clean. The way you see his house is the way he lives. So he couldn't even clean up or anything. What if Lita had said, okay, Eric, okay, when you come back from work, I'm going to show my family the house. When was he going to have time to clean? Would he actually clean before then? I highly doubt that. I think it's going to be like as is type of thing. So they kind of go through the house. They're kind of looking at stuff. They're very disgusted. They don't want her to live this way. And like, I wouldn't want my child to live this way. Especially if my child is living a very decent and comfortable life with me. I don't want her to live somewhere that's uncomfortable and just not a fit for her. So, but I have to say, Lita is doing more than Kalani is, where Lita is standing up to her family and standing by her man and saying, no, I want to be with him. So, I think, so Eric and Lita and the family, they're kind of talking and stuff, and Rena makes it clear that just come back home. Her dad says, okay, you know what, maybe this place is not for you guys, but I can give you some money for a month or two for you guys to go live or find another place to live. And what else is, I'm missing something else that her father said. Yeah, so her father was sticking up for Tasha and saying like why can't Tasha live with you guys type of thing. Why can't you just guys find a better place? Like, you are Tasha's, essentially, or you will be Tasha's stepmom type of thing. You can't just kind of dismiss her. I'm not liking Lita's attitude. Lita's so annoying, and her accent is just like, it's so weird. She is done with Tasha before she even met Tasha, and she wants to kick Tasha out of her house ASAP. But when Tasha comes home from work, she has the day off tomorrow, she can pack her crap up and leave. And what Eric should have said is, not my child you're talking to like that. I will talk to my child, we will make things work, but you're not going to come here before you even met my child telling me that I need to tell my child to pack her stuff up and leave. Like, she has already been told that she has to leave because Dad's new family is coming and they need the space. So you've now taken her at a place where she was comfortable, she was good, she was set, and now she has to leave. So now scratch all that. Dad's girlfriend, or sorry, fiance says that you gotta leave today. Like, it's not realistic and stuff. You're the one who's interrupting their life, so can you learn to adjust, please? And I didn't like Lita's attitude. And Eric, he should have stand up for his daughter, but he was just like, okay, I'm gonna fix this, I'm gonna fix this. How? So I think that's all with them. So next is Olga and Steven. So Olga has a baby. The baby's name is Richie. She does have the C-section. At the beginning, it was so beautiful just seeing them become new parents, realize this is a new stage in their lives. You can kind of see them mature even like a little bit more because they are now parents. They've been given this prestigious title. And you give someone this title and then you see how they handle it. Some people cherish it and then some people lose it. So it's all like nice and sunshine and flowers. Then I don't understand with Steven too. How does he drive and get a car and stuff like this? I was like, so now Steven knows his way around Russia? Like, I was like, I think like a couple of days passed. Like, he has a Russian license now. Olga was in the hospital for a couple days, and then she finally gets to get released because she did have a C-section, so she has to stay in the hospital longer because they have to make sure like she's really set. And you can tell Olga is very like in her mommy mode, where she kind of wants the baby around her 24/7 type of thing. And Steven, he needs to kind of understand that. She did a major operation. Like, they pulled this baby out of her stomach, and that, like, she's going through things right now. She's lived with this baby on her own for 9 months. Like, please be patient with her. I also, from Steven's standpoint, Olga needs to understand that, like, you have someone who really, really wants to be there, and there's this thing, and when I say this thing, I mean like a hospital preventing him from seeing his child. He can only see his child once a day for an hour is not good enough for any new parents. And imagine how he feels. Like, he doesn't want to be here because this place that he's in is hindering him from being a father, spending time with him. So the whole them fighting, it was a little bit much. So I can understand Steven wanted to touch his baby, feel his baby and stuff. I feel like I would kind of be like Olga and be like, can you just not like constantly like rub the baby's face? I appreciate that Steven washed his hands, but then he rubs his hands on his shirt type of thing, where I'm just like, ugh, it just kind of makes your hands dirty again, or some kind of cross-contamination thing. So I was just kind of like, Steven, stop doing that. And I do feel like Olga was moving a bit slow, not necessarily like in her movement, but she looked like she wanted to spend another day there. And it didn't look like she was excited to go home. So you could already tell the conflict that these new parents are going to get into, but it's going to be a big learning curve, because seeing Steven make that baby toy that the baby won't need for maybe in 3 months, it's just like, he's new at this, so kind of give him a chance. And hopefully they don't fight that much, which I saw the preview, so they're gonna keep fighting about this baby and stuff. Steven, right now you're in Russia, you need to get used to it, so talking about America and bringing your baby to America, it will happen eventually, but you're in a new country, so adjust, please. I think that's all for these couples. So that concludes my recap of 90 Day Fiance, Season 6, Episode 5. I hope it's Episode 5. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
I'm just a dumb cunt, fucking sick and tired of it. Maybe I could front love, maybe I could buy a zip, maybe I get fucked up. Next time I could save some. Why it's gotta be like this? Why it's gotta be that way? Put it inside. Feel so rise up, banging on that loud.